Hi, this is Stephen Woodward at the UnpluggedGamer.com. You can check us out over there. We have a ton of reviews of card games and board games, as well as interviews with game designers. So check us out, and here comes your review.
Okay, so let's check out Time Barons by Derek Yu and John Perry. This is a fast-paced two-player card game, and the story is that you are a Time Baron, you're battling another Time Baron through the ages, and each deck that you draw from here represents a different age. So we have the pre-modern, the ancient deck, the ancient age, the pre-modern, the present age, and then the future, which is, sometimes you don't even utilize this in a game, and I'll get to that here in a second. You start with one site. So this is sort of a worker placement game. You have followers, and you're placing them on sites. You start with 10 followers represented by these blue beads on, actually I'm missing one here, on your homeland. The cost to get a site in play is represented up here with the home symbol. You know that's a site if you see the home symbol. And this is 0 to put in play, but you start with it, it's free. The health of a site is down in the lower right hand corner, and it's 6 for the homeland. And so as you do damage to other sites, which I'll show you here in a second, you put a red marker down, and whenever you do a damage to a site, you also eliminate a follower as well. So each turn you start, you have 3 actions, and those actions you can do anything from drawing a card at the current level you're at to play a card depending on the cost of it. You can relocate followers to different sites, and you can also jump up through time by being able to draw from different decks by doing the cost. So if you want to be able to draw from the pre-modern deck, then you have to spend 2 actions represented by the 2 here. If you want to jump all the way up to the modern age, then that's going to cost 3 actions. The 4th age, the future, if you want to jump into the future, you're going to have extra actions, and that's going to take some strategy in terms of the cards you play, and I'll show you here in a second. Let's draw a card. So we draw the Catapult. Catapult's a great card. It takes 2 actions to get it in play. I want to go ahead and get the Catapult out early because it's an offensive weapon, and I can use it to hurt my opponent early on. So you can see this Catapult has some extra abilities down here. The 3 dots represent 3 followers. The 5 dots say you need 5 followers to do this action. The yellow 1 means you need to spend 1 action also with those followers. So I can spend an action here. I've spent 2 to get this in play. I can spend another action to relocate followers and get them onto this site. So I can use these abilities. I'm going to do that. I'm going to get 5 followers over here on this card. Okay, so I've used up all my actions. So it goes to another player's turn. It's back to me now. And what do I want to do? I can use this for free, actually. I've got 5 followers on here. I can do a damage to another opponent's site. And if you destroy a site with followers on it, all those followers are dead. So if you play your cards right, you can kill your opponent early, but I wouldn't count on it. Let's draw another card. Fanaticism. This is a great card, and this demonstrates some of the great art in this game that Derek Yu has brought to it. Derek Yu designed Spelunky, and you can see a definite resemblance in terms of the way the characters are drawn. It's got sort of this is the ancient deck, so I feel like the characters look ancient. They look like El Greco paintings, if you're familiar with art. It's very cool. The design all around is just fantastic. Some of the best art I've ever seen in a game. Let's take a look at some of the other cards throughout the ages. Well, you're going to draw different sites, you're going to draw different abilities, some reaction cards. The Hospital allows you to take care of followers when they get killed. Let's see. This Robotics Lab, let's say I've already jumped up to the modern age and I want to play the Robotics Lab for 2 actions. This gives you the ability to get an extra action. So on a turn where I have my 3 normal actions, I could then, if I was able to get 3 followers on it, I could activate this ability, gain an action. At that point, if I could get 4 actions from that, I can then draw from the future deck, which is super cool because the cards are really powerful. Like this card, the Force Field, you can protect all of your sites with this ability. Prevent them from even getting hurt, because you'll need it with this card, the Doomsday Laser, which when activated, destroys a side immediately. So these future cards are very powerful. You often won't even use them in a game because it takes a little bit of strategy to even get your way up to the future. Anyway, it's a very cool game, and I highly recommend it. Very fast pace.
Ultimately, what I loved about Time Barons is that it marries theme and gameplay in such a cohesive and intelligent way. The art design is really phenomenal, and you can see the inspiration from Derek Yu, who designed the popular indie video game called Spelunky. You can see the common aesthetic between those two games. What I loved about it is the theme. You feel powerful because you're placing the workers on the cards and drawing cards and going through time and doing a lot of different things. You feel like you have a lot at your disposal, and there's a lot of different strategy. Even though the end goal is ultimately going to be the same, you're trying to wipe out the other opponent. The strategy is quite broad, and you feel like you have a lot of different ways to accomplish that one goal. So I highly recommend Time Barons. I think you're going to hear a lot more about it here very soon, and by the end of the year, I wouldn't be surprised if it's on many top 10 lists, if not Game of the Year contenders.